Oh, we are.
Here we are.
Hey there.
Hey,
So New Mexico is the place to be for LeBlanc CNE this summer, which is funny.
right here.
I don't live anywhere near there.
How far are you from New Mexico?
Uh, like 24 plus hours of straight driving. But everyone's funny thing is, everyone, when I tell them, they hear Mexico, we're going to Mexico. No, New Mexico. The reason is, for the last year, a childhood friend, Jonas Thaler, has been making paper using the hemp that I've grown here in Washington State. One thing led to another. I've been able to remove a significant amount of pectin and lignin from the bast fiber before I share it with him, allowing him by now to make 100% hemp paper, which is geared towards artists who want to use it for watercolor and letterpress and other projects. So after much back and forth, we decided to partner up and to rent land from a neighbor of his to grow hemp for fiber this year, so that we can blow this whole thing up. So that's why I'm fascinated with the land.
How much are you planning on planting down there?
So we've rented a half an acre from Gino, his neighbor 3 or 4 doors down, to get started this year. We're getting 1 crop in, not 2, because the best quality fiber comes pre-flower, and it's a long growing season there. We have an option for 2 acres adjacent to what we're doing this year from Gino. Jonas is getting rights to use more water on his land so that we can grow there. And there's other farmers who grew hemp last year, but realized at the end of the season that the market price was so low after licensing and testing and seeds, didn't make any sense to hire labor to harvest it. So like in many areas of the country, New Mexico, this is Guadalupe County, 115 miles east of Albuquerque. They left their fields unharvested, plants standing in the field. Meanwhile, they're looking at their neighbor going, dude, you're making paper from Washington? Why aren't we doing this? So for that reason, and the fact that a processing facility funded by Germans never got off the ground in Santa Rosa, there are some people watching us who would like to play the game if we can prove that it can make money. And of course, being the old product manager, Jonas and I are working from a spreadsheet. And so we've tried to guesstimate yield for different products so that we end up in the black. That we hope will attract other people to return to hemp cultivation, growing fiber, not CBD, because we all know the world's got too much CBD, which is now turning up as Delta 8 and this, that, and the other. So, but yeah, there's also little R&D going on there. LeBlanc has a huge collection of hemp genetics, most of which I've never grown before. So we're going to try growing a few other things just to do comparison to the Chinese fiber cultivar that LeBlanc is growing here and with partners in Washington and Illinois and other parts of the country. Also, I'm really excited about the simplest of things. It's my guesstimate that each seed should be planted 2.5 inches on center. But we're going to do a test section where seeds are planted 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inches, 5 inches on center, because and I need to stop and think about this. The closer the plants are, the greater the bast to herd ratio, because the plant going up needs more fluid to go up, and so there's more bast. We're not growing hemp for hempcrete, which prioritizes the herd, the inside woody part. So, but I do want to know, going in a spreadsheet, if you change the planting distance, how does that change the herd to bast ratio, and how much you get of each depending upon the spacing? There's some other stuff as well. Hope to pull some student input from New Mexico State University, the ag school. And we're going to have some fun, you know, and this is what, July 2nd?
Yeah, 3rd.
3rd. So as of last week, cannabis is legal in the land of enchantment. Home grow, recreational, possession of 2 ounces plus concentrates and edibles. So it's actually cheaper down there than it is here in Cascadia, or at least in Seattle, Washington. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's a long commute to work. I have a new pickup truck, at least new to me. And if someone's going to ask, red, not green. Speaking of chilies. But I can say that the microbrew available in Albuquerque is better than adequate. I had no complaints with the beer we were drinking.
So the whole intention of this summer is to grow paper, essentially hemp for paper. Is
yes.
that of this particular
So
project? Right.
I have a partner farmer too up here in Cascadia, where it's CBD and fiber. It's fiber for paper in New Mexico. We've also, Jonas is a 3rd paper maker I've worked with. There's also a flax farmer in my hometown of Cleveland, Emily Peck, who I'm going to send fiber to come up with a test kitchen for textiles for hemp as cloth. But right now, Jonas and I have this thing pretty much dialed in. We're going to expand and definitely document, not just video like this, but writing stuff down, publishing a few papers along the way if we can get our shit together. But it's fiber. Paper in New Mexico will help some textile people who've been using flax begin to play with hemp. And of course, my ultimate goal is graphene, supercapacitors, and biocomposites, colloquially called hemp batteries and hemp plastic. So, you know, I need a bunch of stuff to work with. The interesting thing is, it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago, in working on this spreadsheet, a Google Sheet back and forth, that we realized we hadn't quantified herd. And, you know, it's like, oh yes, I bought an electric chipper, and it's New Mexico, it's dry as all get out. So we're going to chip the stems so that, and no more than to go to the local New Mexico folks and say, y'all are all about adobe and earth pods and off-grid living. Anybody want to play with hempcrete? We've got, you know, piles of it here. We'll sell it to you cheap. We don't want it because, quite honestly, we see the real potential in the vast as small folks. Because here's why. When hempcrete catches on, when building codes, architects, contractors, Lowe's begin to embrace hempcrete as a building material, it is going to be an industry of scale. If it's replacing a portion of wood from trees being used now, you're going to need acres of it. And quite honestly, I'm too old to fuck with an industry that big. I'd rather take a small thing and do, because, you know, I'm an old guy, I don't care. Actually, I do care. But I don't care about hempcrete. I do care about paper for artists. You know, I'm not focused on toilet paper. I'm interested in developing the workflow as IP, as intellectual property, and selling or licensing that. But I really want to do, the fact that I can remove lignin and pectin, leaving hemicellulose and cellulose, means my next job is getting rid of the hemicellulose to end up with the pure source of cellulose. If I end up this season with a ton of prepped hemp bast, yeah, you know, Jonas will take his portion, I'll take mine. But yeah, I can go to these researchers and say, you've been farting around with like 20 grams of hemp trying to make supercapacitors. I got like a couple of trucks, you know, what do I hear? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. So
Good. Well, I appreciate that you have such a serious plan.
It's,
Most of the times you hear people like, yeah, I'm going to grow hemp for fiber. And that's the end. They don't actually have a plan of what they're doing with it afterwards. So awesome.
yeah, and then I do want to go back to one, if not both, of the other paper makers that we started working with and say, hey, look, we sent you samples. They were raw. This is pre-processed for making paper. We'd like your help and feedback. And, you know, we'll see where it goes. I think once we pull it off and raise our hand and have inventory to share, people will find us. And, you know, again, it's where people always have, well, how much are you going to plant? It's like, we're going to plant a half an acre, actually 0.4 acres. We'll probably end up between Gino and Jonas with closer to 3 acres at our disposal next year. And I won't tell you how little we're paying with unlimited water in the desert. But if we can do this and come up with an SOP and come up with a protocol and a spreadsheet and a formula, we basically franchise this to other farm partners with purchase agreements next year. The question is, how do you get it all in one place? Excuse me. And the trick is the processing and the farm need to be close together, or the cost and logistics of moving the plant to the factory gets in the way. Right now, there's no concentration geographically of hemp farmers growing fiber cultivars. They're scattered all over the place. Meanwhile, because of the pandemic lockdown and trade and tariff wars initiated by knucklehead Trump, trucking and logistics are totally broken. Takes too long, costs too much. So some of the stuff that I'm building in terms of tools will fit in my truck. I can go to you, but these are for small plots. We'll figure out next year. There's other things going on, but yeah, I'm having a good time, serious work. We're gonna document it with video and photos. We did one 2 weeks ago when Gino was prepping the field for us. But we really want this to work not just for us, but to share it with others, because the time is late, the planet is sick, we got to fix some stuff, and hemp is here to help.
I love it.
I
I do.
into trouble in my old age. You know?
Well, I really appreciate that you're helping so many people that are trying to like do exactly what you're saying of like, let's change what we're doing because we're growing corn and cotton and we need to grow something else.
Oh yeah, and yeah, really discouraging thinking about what the planet will look like 10 or 20 years from now, which is not that far away. And the world that my kids and grandkids inherit. And a little late, so I feel propelled on this mission to like get this going now. And if we do video and put it on YouTube, everyone else uses YouTube to learn how to shuffle dance and make bubble hash and do all these dumb pranks and stuff. Y'all can learn how to grow hemp the right way, not just putting seeds in the ground and putting Roundup on it, but doing it in a non-monoculture manner, no-till, regenerative, building soil, not letting your topsoil wash downstream, but beginning with the realization that dirt and soil are two different things. Dirt's dead, soil's alive. And we all depend on it. I mean, all creatures big and small. So
You've already made paper?
yes, Jonas has made paper. I just moved, so I can't find the last couple sheets. But yeah, it's A4 size, larger than letter. He can make it, I want to say 36 inches wide. He has these screens he uses. But the idea is to perfect the workflow and sell it to a receptive crowd. There's very little domestic, let alone domestic and organic hemp paper available for artists. God knows I love artists, though I ain't one myself. It also, quite honestly, what's available, pure hemp paper, not the stuff you get from, I forget the name of the company, it's a cotton blend.
Mhm.
At $4 a sheet, it sells out, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we can do that. So here we go. We're also going to sell the root to herbologists and people making medicine. Obviously, the herd and shiv to the Hemp Kite people, the Earth Pod off the grid ZoneWorks New Mexico crowd, just all the Adobe fans, and then um, yeah, we'll see where it goes. I will grow some smokable down there just to establish the terroir. But really, and I'll leave you with this. For years and years and years, the hemp activist mantra has always been food, fuel, fiber. We got sidetracked by CBD, Charlotte Figge, Sanjay Gupta documentary, which was a good thing, but it should only be a sidetrack, not a complete abandonment of the potential of the plant. So no, not grain for us this year, but fiber, and really, and seeing, when we raise the flag, who salutes? It's like, so here's bags of chipped herd. Who in New Mexico is interested in this? And talk to me. What are you doing with it? Or offering Bast in bulk to see if there are other people doing things I don't know about who want to play the game.
Mhm.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's part of the culture as well, is like finding your people that are your artists and your makers and your creators, right?
Well, it's interesting because Guadalupe County, as the Department of Agriculture site describes it, is a minority majority county. This is Spanish land grant. Families have been there 200-300 years, and agriculture, but it's a lot. Yeah, there's some cows. There's a lot of sheep, and so a lot of the fiber work is in wool. And looking at the fiber artist and the plant dye community and the textile crowd, it's that protein thing. It's wool, not flax or hemp, which is celluloid, which is cool. I mean, I am growing dye plants like madder and coreopsis, calendula, our mother's bed straw, and others. But in seeing who the artists were locally, and Jonas is an artist, it's very different. It's wool, and I don't eat mammals, and so sheep are just big cuddly pets to me. But it speaks to the fiber art culture in New Mexico, which I'm dying to explore. But yeah, here we go, something to do instead of watching Jeopardy.
I mean, I haven't seen very many wool hemp blends. There are some, but
Whoa.
that's a blend that would be really nice.
Yeah. And actually, I was working in this new garden I have, and there was some old bamboo stalks. And when I looked inside, I'm looking at a pile now, not very big, of bamboo bast. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. And if I'm collecting all this plant stuff, because I'm finding that even among my friends, they'll say, oh, I've been spinning wool during the lockdown. And when I said, yeah, we're going to end up with hopefully 36-inch lengths of hemp fiber, Jan, who lives in Albuquerque, said, oh my God, I've been working with 4-inch pieces. You got to give me something that's 3 feet long. Oh, 39 inches, a meter. We'll do it metric. But the real reason is paper makers chop up the fiber.
Mm.
Textile workers want to weave and spin it. They want long. The reason I want to keep the stem and hence the bast long, a standard pallet is 40 by 48. And the only way to move a lot of stuff around is to palletize the load, whether it's barge, truck, or rail. So why not develop a workflow as if we were bigger than we are? And that's one reason I'm excited to do this small thing before committing to 3, 5, 10, 20 acres in New Mexico alone next year, is to say, okay, so we found some heat treated, safe, non-toxic pallets. We cut this stuff and prepped it. Does that work? And and how much can we fit on a pallet, and how much does it cost to ship that pallet. But this is a test kitchen, you know,
Mhm.
just like the other paper makers. This is sort of like, so if we were 5 years down the road, what would this look like? Let's make mistakes small while we can, because they're going to be more expensive down the road. But yeah, shit. Plus, you're right. I'm dying to meet the artists who raise their hand to do, whether it's watercolor or letterpress or acrylic or whatever, on a different. Oh, because when I hand the samples to friends of mine who are artists, they react viscerally, and they're touching this stuff like a blind person reading Braille. Each piece is obviously different, and it's off white. It's not green for sure. Without bleaching really, we can keep it, because we're not field retting where the mold leaves black spots. We're doing
Mhm.
something completely different, and it's much like virgin fiber. So it's not pure white, which you don't necessarily want. It has a warmth to it. Um, but yeah, and unfortunately, by the time Jonas perfected the 100% hemp paper thing, he's had to put that aside because it's labor intensive while getting ready to farm. What we'd like to do is to hire 1 or 2 people part-time to do the grunt work, making the paper, while we do, you know, the other stuff involved, because
Mhm.
2 old guys. And I add that Jonas and I were in the same first grade class. There was a little break during junior high, but we've known each other since we were in first grade, and we're 67. We hadn't had a conversation since junior high until 2 weeks ago, and we got along just great. We caught up, and just the 2 of us at his place, and beautiful house, and wow, pretty fun.
Awesome. I'm excited to see how it progresses because it's a really cool project.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the second installment in the video shorts we're doing, unofficially titled Seed to Paper, but we do want to share what we're doing throughout the season, both for the Hemp Kite, but also as a um, example, good, bad, or otherwise, for other people who want to play the fiber game, because there's obviously room for more than just Jonas and I, and we want to play with other kids on the playground. So if you like what you see, come join us.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be because you're farming. There's other things, and obviously we're not able to share everything we're doing. Even being childhood friends, Jonas and I have a non-disclosure agreement. This is, we believe, pretty out there stuff with great market potential, and that's not lost on us. And so there's a line in the sand about what we will and won't talk about in public, but just to watch this thing, the plants grow and us harvesting them, and then the paper making process, et cetera, et cetera. We're looking forward to it, and we'd love to share it with others. So there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good job. I'm excited to see the next installment.
Yeah, cool. So thanks for pointing out it wasn't being recorded.